what I'm going to do first is I'll be basically dividing this into columns and rows as we did while we are creating our components, right? So what I wanted to have a clear map of assembly or fabrication, after fabrication or during fabrication and during assembly. So I wanted to put like A1, A2, A3, blah blah kind of thing. To create that, from the previous list, you may remember, or tutorials lists, partition list. And partition list is going to grab a value here. This value is going to be directly coming from my previous one of my previous operations, that is Lunchbox redivision. So when I do this, I'll divide these chunks into 14 lists into 14 members of sublists. So if I grab a tree branch, what I'll have here, once I simplify this, let's put tree, I'll probably select the third list from the beginning, and this is my beginning, right? So this is basically it, but is it enough for us? Not really, because what I need to do now is to create a character list, right? Which is ABC and so on and so forth, so that I go to char sequence. And to do so, I'll be grabbing the char sequence, I'll be grabbing this guy, 13, because I'll have, maybe I need to disconnect one. So this is my count, because I have like 14 members on each list, right? Like let me maybe, can I see it in top view? Not really. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14, which I have in my lists. And I have 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, or A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I, so on and so forth. Sorry, I forgot the English order. So what I'll be doing, I'll be tagging this, right? With this sequence with the numbers. So I'll grab a concatenate. These are my sequence numbers. And what I'll be doing is I'll be putting all this into the centroids of my, this is already here, of my top things, right? So I need to make sure if they are working in the same order, because now I divide this into list of 14. So I'll be dividing my areas or centroids also divided by 14, right? So that I can connect the locations as the locations and the text in the text. So what this will give me, if I connect it now, I probably see a problem, right? Because it's only doing this. Let me put a swatch here and show you. And if I preview this one, you see now it's putting the wrong order, because I want this. I mean, we can do it this way as well, A, B, blah, blah, blah. But what we want is A1, A2, A3, and so on and so forth. So how we can fix this? And we also had to have the numbers as well. So if I grab a series, since I have 14 elements in my list, and by the way, this is supposed to do this, yes. So I do need to create a sequence, series of number, which starts from 0 till it starts from 1 and reaches till 14. So if I connect this here, now what I am seeing the problem. My problem here is, you see, it goes A1 to all of this and then goes back up again. I need to graph this, because if I don't graph this, it will put A all the way here, right? but I want A's all over the other locations. Therefore, and also you see A1, you see A1 all these items, but they are different. The reason it's caused because I am using the same values with the same informations all over the place. And if I graph this, now I have what I need. I have what I need. All right. The next thing, the very next thing that I'll be doing, and by the way, I'm using this as sort of a visualization. This is sort of only to put an information or this map onto the 3D. The next thing that I'll be doing, I'll go to the Lunchbox again, unroll VWrap. I'll be unrolling my VWraps. Okay. The reason it's already flattened, and it's flattened because we divide the same list by flattening, not flattening, but dividing in the same sequence. Therefore, we don't need to worry about this list anymore. It's going to be all in the order. If you prefer, you can always proceed with this one as well, but for the sake of this exercise and saving some time for you and me as well, I just proceed with this one. So what we want to do is we want to also create a map here as well, right? Like a grid, let's say create grid, square grids. And on this point, maybe set one point, connect it over here. Size is going to be 200, and it's going to be how many items we have, 180. Maybe we grab the length of this length, and we connect the length on extraction. Flatten this as well. Whatever we do, it's always this component takes it out and makes it flatten. And on Y direction, we only need one, right? So if I connect this over here, let's see what I'll be seeing. I can push this a bit up so that we can always go back. Oh, no. Yeah, let's do it this way so that we can test. So what I'll be doing, I'll be using these areas, these points, and let's put some sort of numeric values here. Let's use the text tag here, okay? And if I use this centroid here, if I flatten this, I'll have this many information. And for my text, I can use this text and flatten this. And for color, I can put a swatch, not this one, swatch, and put it in. So it's A1, A2, so on and so forth. If I grab a list item, you see my 0.0 is here. And if I put this guy over here, this is my A1. So, and this is my A1. This is going to be my A1 as well. So if I put now A1 to there, how would I do that? What I'll be doing is I'll be putting an orient component. I'll be connecting my geometry, this geometry. I'll be orienting this geometry from its area to this area. Now I started to see everything comes to a play. Now if I put a point, obviously now what we see here is a bit like a train wagon, goes all over the place, but it is what it is for now. I mean, you can always play around with the nest and how you nest things in and out. So basically, this is also kind of another visualization. Therefore, I'll be putting it into down below, and text is going to be wire display and hidden. And this is my unrolling operation. So I'll be maybe just make this into range. But is it the end? No. Let's make sure. If I grab a list item here and grab the area of this component, this is my first item, and if I want to check this if it's working, and this is my lofts, and if I grab a list item and area for that one, this is A1 and it contains the same list. So if you put 20 here, 20 here as well, 20 meaning B7, is it B7? Let's check, make sure. I don't see it, sorry. Yeah, it's B7 as well. So we are on the right track, but the problem is we don't have any flops here. Flops are also quite important, and how we add those flops. So if we go to brep edges, brep edge view, brep. Let's check it on the surface. I think it's somewhere here. Brep edges. I couldn't see it. I don't know why. And we have naked ones and we have interior ones. So what we need is the naked ones. And let's join this. Naked ones. Okay. But the problem is, on some occasions, we may have some small, really tiny geometries here. You see, why don't we take them out? Because they're not going to be helping us in our creating flops. So what I'll be doing is I'll be dispatching the naked edges by their lengths. So if the length is smaller than, I don't know, 2, smaller than 2, maybe even less than that, I'm not gonna use it. So let's put it up, put it over here. And if I grab a curve here, because we are not going to use that distance, right? So what we are seeing here is now all these guys that we are not seeing the interiors. So this is the curve, these are the curves that I'll be proceeding with. So I'll be joining this in. But before I join these in, let's not join this in just yet, because what I want to have is to have the flops all over the place. So how would I do that? Let's try to make things a bit simpler here. In real life, what we probably want to have, if this is our triangle, one piece of triangle, we probably want to have something here with a hole, another one here with a hole, with another hole, and my sketch is quite terrible now. And like, let's say another one here, another one here, so and so forth, so that they can connect. But it's gonna take more time, and the surfaces are not really easy to work with this kind of an approach. Therefore, we'll be just creating sort of flops here with one single rectangle, and that rectangle is going to sit on the middle of each curve. So if I grab the curve middle component, this is where we are going to put things in. But this is not going to be used as we are creating the frames. So we'll be creating a frame, horizontal frame on all these lines. Horizontal frame. And each frame is going to be sitting just onto the middle of this curve, right? Okay, so we're good. So if I grab a rectangle component and use this as my frame, and I'm using a domain to come up with the X size. But the X size is highly related with our lengths, right? So if I grab a length here, because I want to use this length and divide this into, let's say 1.5, and grab a negative value, this in, put this in, put this guy in, and you see what we are having now. We are having this curve, sorry, we are having this rectangle. But when we increase this, you see it's going really within that length. It goes really outside of this curve. However, it's highly still related with the length of each edge. So we are creating sort of a parameter for ourselves. Imagine you're just stapling all this from their bottoms, or depending on the material, but let's say it's a paper model for now. Okay, and what I can do for the next is I can say, okay, for this one, not like, let's put 5 by 5 for my depth, 7 centimeter, maybe even smaller, so that they don't overlap here. If we see some overlaps, we can always have it as such. It's just like, it's not super intelligent, but show you the way. So these are the rectangles. And now what I want to do is I want to join all these curves in. Okay, and this is all of these curves now are closed planar curves, right? And what I need to do is I need to union all these curves with my rectangles. So how I can do that? And oh, by the way, if we go to the, probably here, somewhere here, where we have, yeah, that's okay for this. That's okay for this, because on top of them, we don't probably need any of these because they're not going to be connected anywhere. But let's keep them as they are for now, okay? And one thing that we want to consider here is to, oh, by the way, if we want to make sure that it's also working with these edges, we can say something, we can have like a larger value here. Not sure, maybe 15, smaller than 15. No. You see, it starts to take all this out, but again, as I said, we are just focusing on the inner sides. That's why let's have them as it is for now. And how do we put this in? So we see we are having this as in 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Like we have 3 indices here. And for this one, we have only 2 indices. So if I simplify this, and if I simplify this, you see we all have single lists. And this has or lists with 1 digit. Okay. So connect this here and connect this here. Since we are not connecting any plane, it shows a problem, but when we connect the plane, hopefully they would work. So let's see what is going to happen. So just give me a second, it can freeze. And let's see. All right, let's see, like we don't have any troubles here. This is good. And we can say preview this off. And this is our exterior or outlines, for each and every member of these faces. So one thing we can do here is obviously we can put the names, or we can relocate the tags, because these tags can be on top of our like geometries, and they're on the area. So one thing we can do here is we can say deconstruct. Where is the location? Next is that the location is the location of the cells. So if I deconstruct this wrap, so deconstruct wrap, and deconstruct this, and I can say for each and every face of it, we can relocate this, and let's see what would we have when we do this. Okay, we have all this here. All right, what we can do here is to select one of these faces just to make things really easy for us or for ourselves, you know. And how many faces I have selected? One, and it goes like this, like that. So if this is my tags, they all overlap. I'm not sure why. Oh, because it's flattened. I don't flatten this. The numeric. Okay, one thing I'll be doing really quick here, flatten this, and then graft it. Let's see if we can see the results. Yeah, this is the way that we are having the results. So we know on each one we are having this item. Obviously, one other thing we can do is we can put all the items here on top of one another. Maybe I just, this is a bit going off, so I'll group this as well. So bar display not hidden, we can put a default. Text can be also default so that we can see. So for each item, if I connect this, what would I have? All right, so you see I already have a one on every single thing, but if I want to put this as my text here with the white color, of course the size needs to be changed, because I'm adding this because we may want to bake the text. So size can be 12, maybe. Too big, but just middle center. Too off. Okay, and this is the outer curves, right? Maybe I can group this and put it here. And what I'll be doing is I'll be putting this into like cut layer, since if this is a laser cut, bake to cut and make them group, and make this to bake this to 0. Select them all. Maybe select them all. Or it's too big now. 1 maybe. 0.1 maybe. 0.05 maybe. Okay, this is something we want as baked text. So this is group 1. If I zoom into this guy, that's too much, yeah. Oh, hold on for a second. The thing that we are not able to see for some of these is the problem that we are having actually. So maybe I just take a step back and try to solve that problem. So what is happening here? 0, 0, all these planes. So why don't we use the area and the, I don't have an area of this. Okay, close. Let's preserve this. Alright, that might be oh, I see the problem now. Of course, now the problem is if we do this, then we won't be able to put the Yeah, the problem is caused by these guys here, but yeah. Okay, one thing we can do to really fix this is quite an easy fix is to find the end points and create a line, start and end. Oops, what is this? Oh, it ends there. On. So it starts with this and ends with this. Right, give me a second to fix. Well, it's a relatively easy fix. The problem is we are trying to cap something is not quite closed, right? So what we are going to do instead of closing this guys, in which we are using or we are taking out the parts that we are not using here in the middle. Okay, maybe not, this is not a good example, but you see, like, there is a small portion of information curves here that we don't use, right? So instead of using that, why don't we take this guy and use it as our geometry, right? So if I, instead of using this, which is this guy, instead of using this, if I use this, okay, freezing for a second, and we are live back. So if I use this guy instead of that one, let's see what would happen. Probably we fixed the problem. I mean, I hope we fixed the problem. Again, it might be freezing for a second, but yeah, all right. So if we check this now, we are all having, remove this off, we're all having the flops are defined, and I can now bake this as to my cut layer. Okay, I can bake this to my bake, let's say there's 0. It's too big right now, probably. That's okay. I select, I can select them all, and if I group this, I can select them all. Go to my properties, 0.05 should be enough. Let's see. Yes, it seems so. Okay. And then last but not least, what I'll be doing is I'll be also grabbing the curves, or where are those curves? Interior curves to fold, right? And these are my curves to be folded. Or what I can do here is I can do this and group this, connect it over here, color it up a bit, and these are the ones that I'll be putting onto layer 3 as a group. And now if I turn off my crossover screen, sorry, if I use this guy is open, RCP. Anyways, if I go into Grasshopper and turn off everything, what I'm seeing now is, and put a tag fold, and you know what we can do? We can say, okay, I want to have these guys, maybe bake them and bake the tags as well. So this is what we have done in Rhino. They're all like grouped, tagged, and ready to be fabricated. And of course, what we need to do is we need to put sort of a like a dashed line over here, but that's pretty much what we have done for today. So I hope you okay. Maybe we can turn on things on Grasshopper. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy this. Let me see you in a big version. I hope you enjoy all this, and I'll see you in the next playlist.